there was one game that took place in there is the English Premier League last night. That and moreover, the stories is something that we shall be giving you. On a sad note, by the way, there is one former Navy Central player with the names of Derek Omirambe, who succumbed to the effects of a motorcycle accident, and this very day may his soul rest in eternal peace. West Nile TV and Whistle Time Desk condones with the family of Derek Omirambe. That and also today, remember, Onduparaka Football Club has a friendly game to play with a Koboko side called Ombachi Pride in a build-up game in preparation ahead of their game on a Sunday with Calvary Midigo in there. And then our topic of discussion will be the USSA games that are slated to start this very April. What are some of the schools that will be taking part in these very USSS games? Are the schools ready? What are some of the procedures that the schools are going to take to be a part of this? There is an ongoing press conference that is going down at Idiofe about this whole topic, but we shall not wait for the press conference to first get finished before we discuss this. We'll actually have a lively discussion because one of my colleagues in the house here was in attendance. So definitely you will be giving us more of the updates that came through from the press conference.
Well, that is coming in live from the press conference that is happening right now at Greenview Gardens, of course, where the Ollies take place. And I think what's happening for now, it's so much of how these games are going to take place. We're talking about the USSSA games, of course. It's 2025, we're all aware that as the schools begin, the sports activities as well takes place. But coming right from the sources is that what has been just taking place, they are trying today look at where these schools, basically where these games will take place. We're talking about the ball game 1, that is football for both boys and girls, and of course ball game 2. That's where lots of also sports activities take place. We have athletics, of course, netball, we have volleyball, and many other games that are going to take place. And right from the discussions, of course, from the meetings, as the press did put this time clear, that for the 2025 matches, these are for the USSSA concerning ball game 1, that out of the 4 schools that really are vetted, that really placed in, their request to see how they can really host the ball games, basically ball game 1. And out of the discounts, of course, consultations based on the capacity and a lot of factors being considered. And it's from here that it's Maracha Senior Secondary School, that's in Maracha District, that really merged the school for 2025 ball game 1, of course, this time to host. And I think they should be in preparation. And I think last year it has been Koboko. Before Koboko, it was Jumani. And this time Maracha, I think the kind of rotation they're trying to make will be another good one for West Nile. And of course for ball game 2 also, it is also clear that of course it is that is St. Assunta's will be the school to really host the ball game 2 activities. That's for 2025. And so that I think something interesting. But I think something back they hosted this, today also they have the opportunity to host this at the ball game 2, ball game 1. I think Maracha should be prepared to me.
This is quite very interesting that we get to see that every other region, should I say district? I don't know. Within West Nile is getting to host this very great and historic activity. It is rotational, and I think that is quite a very good one, so that every other person feels included. There is a little bit of inclusiveness and togetherness. No one feels isolated or left aside and all that. With the review that you gave us, it started from Germany, then we came to Koboko, and then this time around we shall be in Maracha, the land of grasshoppers down there, and it will quite be a very good one. So what should be some of the expectations for the people out there ahead of these games that will of course start this April?
And I think of course this will be more of a kind of a Maracha to prepare enough, basing that for now schools have not yet started. And I think all the schools should be in high gear in preparing, of course. The first thing they're going to start with their inter-school kind of activities to see how they shortlist the players. And now that the venue is ready, And of course, not all schools will go for these zonals that's going to take place in Maracham. That means, again, people have to also prepare, especially the schools, to take, competent enough schools. These are the schools that are to represent or to present the districts in the zonals that's going to take place in Maracham. And you asked really a question on, how much these schools are going to prepare or what is needed. It's as usual thing. You have to prepare, and of course, reaching there means you have the strength and the capacity to definitely hold what you call the zonal league. And to me, really, this time, they should be vying. Each school, if they really hear about where it's going to be, then it's up to them, kind of scratching up and down to see that really they have to make it to the zonals, because it's always one of the biggest that they really make it to the zonals. And of course, one of the things that also that came in from the discussions today, that is from the management or the association of the USSA games, that these games are likely to take place around April, and also they're expecting. That means since the schools are going to begin, that's around February here, I think early February. That means there's going to be a lot for the districts to send these schools.
Okay, that and more of the stories that we shall be compiling, and definitely we'll give you more of the updates from whatever it is that is taking place in the press conference down at Garden View Idiofe. Much of course, our people are in the field trying to do collection over this very information in there. And I remember, leaving that story aside, we shall be crossing over to there is the Uganda Premier League that I told you games are ongoing. Games started from second. We had a couple of games, and then on third there were also games that went down, and then on fourth there were games that went down. The fifth there were even games, and then sixth that was definitely yesterday. We did see around three fixtures, or 3 games I should say, that went down, with Vipers taking on Maroons. We did see Bright Stars taking on Lugazi, and then UPDF did take on Express Football Club in there. And some of the results that came through, we did see UPDF losing to Express 2-0. Bright Stars and Lugazi managed to play in stalemate that ended in 1-1. And then we also did see Maroons losing out to Vipers in there, quite interestingly. From the results of UPL?
Well, I think looking at the 2 games played, that's between Express and that is UPDF. I did see earlier on, really, looking at the head-to-head records between the 2 teams, they did kind of play 4 games consecutive, how they've been meeting, that is between Express and UPDF. And of course, most of which they had 3, those are all draws that they really got. And of course, giving Express also winning in those 3 means, this win yesterday might have given also Express another second win out of the 4 games they played. And I told people earlier on, looking at really that is Express, based on the post on that, they are a kind of, they are 22 points and a kind of few from the top. That means they needed those 3 points to make 23, compared to UPDF, who is still struggling. I know they've been losing and drawing, losing 2, drawing in their last 4 games. But to me, really, Express deserves that kind of win that has really put them 23 points third in this post.
Okay, that is one game that we have decided to look into, but the other 2, definitely we give you the results. There will also be games that will be going down today on the scoreboard of the Uganda Premier League, with around 5 games that definitely will be going down today. We shall be having a Bull taking on Wakiso Giants, and then we shall be seeing Chitara taking on Soccer Club Villa, and we also have Mbale Heroes taking on NEC Football Club. And then Mbarara City will be taking on KCCA. And then lastly on the scoreboard for today, within the Uganda Premier League, we shall be seeing URA that will be taking on Police. What is your game to watch?
URA, when you look at URA, of course, take on Police. URA not really so bad from the table there. To me, I think URL, they are so good in their person. Looking at the head-to-head between the 2, that's between Police and URA. Of course, the last games, that is the last game for URA, they lost. They had 3 wins and, of course, 1 draw, compared to Police that took actually 3 draws with 1 kind of win, the 1 lose. To me, looking at the lineup, the starting where they are, Police seems to be very down, and they definitely needed these points. They definitely needed these points in that really, when you look at URL where they are, they also need these points.
Okay.
And to me, Susie, I think if I'm the coach for URL this time, I'll be going forward for this win, which is very important.
Okay. That is that. I want us to look at one fixture. There is for Villa and Chitara. From their previous says, if you look at Chitara, they started the season on a very terrible notice, but somehow they picked up towards a Christmas break. You'd really see that Chitara Football Club is one club that really has picked up. They started to beat people for fun. Not less than, not scoring goals less than 3. They were beating people 4 goals to 0, 5 goals to 0. There was even a club, I think they did beat 7 goals. So every other person started wondering, I mean, what was happening to Chitara? Where have they been? I mean, is this the start of their season and all that? So basically, I think Chitara, I should say, is doing well for now.
Yeah.
And for Villa, that they are slated to play, you definitely see that Villa currently are the reigning champions. We all know they are the champions of UPL season 2023-2024. So this time around, things are also not doing so well, are not going on well at the club. So definitely, I don't know, both teams really need this win, especially Villa, but with the form of Chitara. What are you anticipating?
Basically, when you look at the last 5 games of Chitara, really they have been outstanding, as you say. You know, kind of beating that Mbali Heroes, of course, 6, as you said, 7 goals to 0. And of course, the other game also winning 4, at the same time 7, beating that is the other side, of course, Express. And to me, I think they stand a chance of winning this game. Looking at the standing where they are, really, the last 5 games, as I said, 2 draws and basically 3 wins, that is Chitara. Omedi outstanding this time in performance, and of course compared to Villa, which is a bit struggling, they have just picked, of course, a win, and that's against URA, 1-0 win, I think you still remember, and of course having 3 draws with 1 lose, that is against NEC FC. That tells you another struggling side how Villa is, and I want to tell you, Susie, honestly, history never repeats itself. To me, Chitara on the form, they definitely needed these points, and they have to come back. And I'm not trying to judge. I would rather give it to
Chitara.
to
Okay. So that is something we shall also be looking at after the 90 minutes of today. And it is something we shall be giving you the results on the different social media platforms. And also it is something we shall come back here tomorrow to discuss same time, same faces in there. We want to look at the table standings within there is the Uganda Premier League before we cross over for a very short commercial break. On the table, seated on number 1, we have Vipers that has accumulated 34 points. Following them very closely is NEC Football Club that has 30 points. And then in position number 3, we have Express Football Club that has 25 points. And then in position number 4, we have a KCCA that has collected 24 points into their bags. And then in position number 5, we have Maroons, the zero-based side that has 22. And then the tax collectors, I'm talking about URA, they sit in position number 6 on the table with 21 points. Following them very closely is the reigning champions. I'm talking about Villa that sit in position number 7 with, of course, 20 points. Position number 8 with 19 points, we have the Eastern Giants. We're talking about Bull Football Club. Position number 9 is, of course, Chitara that has 18 points. Position number 10, we have a Police Football Club that has 18 points. Position number 11 is from another side of the forces. We're talking about UPDF. The forces have decided to follow each other. They follow Police closely in position number 11, and they have 17 points. Lugazi is in position number 12. They have 14 points, tied together with Mbarara, who also has 14 points and sits in position number 13, which is Giants sits in position number 14 with 11 points. 10 points is Soltilo Bright Stars, and then 9 points, and last on the table is Mbale Heroes. Too bad for them,
Yes,
newly promoted.
They
really need to work hard. Do you think NEC has a game at hand? Express played yesterday. KCCA has a game at hand. Vipers has a game at hand. Bull has a game at hand. Chitara has a game at hand. Police. Do you think the table is going to change after today's games?
Yeah, definitely this table is going to change, because when you look at really the table standing now, it's a bit very stiff and competitive. And to me, really, looking at NEC, Mbalago's team is not going to sleep this time. And of course, based on the game they have at hand, I think definitely the table has to change.
Okay. There is Vipers that has been on top of the table with the point gap that he has, Vipers has with the NEC Football Club. We definitely see how hardworking NEC is. But somehow, I don't know what happened. They were on top of the table if you look at our NEC Football Club, but then we did see Vipers also come up. KCCA is sinking this time around. At a certain point, we did see KCCA up there for quite some time before they started losing out, and this time around, I don't know what could be happening with KCCA. Are we seeing them win today?
Well, being the tax collectors, it doesn't mean you'll also dominate the table, because the man I expect to be there, that KCCA, you know, when you look at really KCCA, they were very organized right from the beginning, signing players, really having part of the players, what or two from one of the countries, that is South Africa, one of the experienced coaches. To me, I think they still have something to do. KCCA is not the KCCA we really know now. It's the KCCA that is really kind of so much droning now. And to me, Susan, I think they should be having kind of more of technical that is concerned with the coach compared to the previous. And that's all they need to do at the moment.
Okay, that is about KCCA. They have a game today. We shall, of course, definitely bring you some of the results and the actions are packed within the games that will be going down today. We shall be crossing over for a very short commercial break, unless otherwise you have an input before we cross over for the commercial. Okay, I'll see you. Don't you touch that remote. We shall be returning.